Howdy there, YouTube. We're taking a gander through my old Magic the Gathering collection. It's a little zoomed in because I don't want my face on camera, and I don't really have a good setup for it, so this is what it's gonna be. It's not the best picture and all that, but you know, it's it'll have to do. But well, here we start. That's actually on the next page, I think. No, is it in there? Okay, it is in there. We got our Massacre. We got a Drain Life. Classic 3rd edition. Has no, is a white border. And no date down there. So it's either unlimited or 3rd edition / revised. I think this one is revised. What's up, Terraflare? Hi. I should have painted my nails for this. I'm so mad that I didn't. I love my Drain Life. We got... this is... Pretender's Claim is what it's called. I don't know why the glare's on there. But then we got our next row here, Reign of Terror. Unearth. Cool card. Basically, a 1-mana... and any creature with casting cost 3 or less is posed from your graveyard to play. That's pretty big. Right on top of the cards! You got our Ashen Powder here. There's another card you probably all have been... Check out my old-ass binder, by the way. You can see the fucking dust built up on it. This binder is from the 80s. But we got 4 Glooms, also from 3rd edition / revised. Death Watch. And then we got ourselves Yawgmoth's Edict. So you're gonna see some mix of old school cards, and then you got the Saga. This is Urza's Saga symbol right here. And you can see the rarity colors being colored in at some point too, which is neat. But the thing is we got them kind of multi-layered here. So I have them on the backs too. We got Lestrax Right. We got Agonizing Memories. We got our Dread of Night. Nothing too fancy yet. These are just all uncommons and rares I have in a binder. Bereverent. Choking Sands. Let's see, your Murderous Betrayal, Oppression, where a player successfully casts a spell that player chooses and discards a card. And then Songs of the Dam, add a black mana for each creature in your graveyard. I had a cycling decks with this once upon a time. Hey, Sevi, how's it going? Another card we've been seeing lately, especially in our current deck. Howl from Beyond. Oh, look at that. We got 3 from 3rd edition and 1 from 6th edition? Look at this. Yeah, I think that's 6th edition right there. On the flip side, we got a Tainted Aether. Look at that. That's a little bit better right there. There we go. Ritual of the Machine. It's alliances. Let's see here. Parasitic Bond. We got that Vile Requiem. And then another one of my favorite black cards, Exhume. Each player chooses a card from their graveyard and puts that creature into play. Again, for only 2. That's why the graveyard decks are so powerful. What's up, Rainiac? Thank you so much for the 95 streak. I appreciate that. Engineered Plague. Great against mana dorks. Choose a creature type. All creatures of that type get -1/-1. A lot of mana dorks are just 1/1s. Terror, of course, one of the most classic cards in Magic. It's on the other side. Mind Slash, okay. Yeah, 3 days to 900 streams. And we got ourselves a Treacherous Link. Some of these are just pretty average cards that I just threw in here because they're rare. For some reason, we have another Treacherous Link on this screen. Or this page. Strands of Night, another Tainted Ether, Yawgmoth's Edict again. Ghoul's Feast. What's that? Necrologia. And one of my, of course, favorite classic cards. We got the Unholy Strength here with the pentagram in the background. They actually took this out later. But if you do an early SF version, this is of course 3rd edition or earlier, most likely 3rd edition. But we love this card. Mind Slash and Caterin Summons. Nothing too fancy here, really. Oh, look at that Dark Ritual, though. Ravenous Demon. We got Ravenous Demon, Ravenous Rats. And, of course, one of the greatest discard cards of all time, Hymn to Turok. Oh, look at the playset, too. Oh, we got a playset of that. Look at that. It's beautiful. For 2 mana, target player discards 2 cards at random. The at random part's important. Crazy good value. Wolf art, best art. Look at my knuckles. And of course, Dark Rituals. One of the best Magic cards ever as well. Ooh, another 3 we had from 3rd edition. And then we got the one here from, I think that's 4th or 5th edition. But same art. Alright, then we got Megrim. Durus is another card I really enjoy. Look at an opponent's hand and discard a non-creature, non-land card. So you get to look at their hand and you get to do it. To switch themselves in bigger boxes, all 52k of them. Yeah, we got a lot of boxes as well. But I didn't sleeve all of them. I don't think I have the money to sleeve them all. I probably would have if I could have. Persecute. There's another couple of oldies here. Simulacrum and Pestilence. We just saw both of these being used in our current run. What's up, Rungo? In our current Chandala run, these two have been doing work for us. Mostly this one, actually. Not so much this one. But this one. Yeah. 3rd edition. Got lots of 3rd edition stuff, because that's when I really started into Magic. Nope, we only have one on the back of this. There's a demon here. Oh, wait. It's that dual card, isn't it? Yeah. See, I barely even know that. Like I had to say no to Magic. Yep. No, I understand that. Frozen Shade from 3rd edition. Drain Life. Again. Oh, Vampire Bats over here. How many of these do we have? These are from Legends, too. Oof. Set of Legends Vampire Bats. Let's look at that. That's beautiful. When they fix the text, yeah. Look at that. Alright. Alright, now we got some more Urza's Saga stuff here. Lurking Evil. Pay half your life for a 4/4 with Flyer. Not very good. Yeah, it doesn't say until end of turn. You just permanently get 1/1. That would have been pretty strong. Soul Feast. More Ursa set stuff. We got the Vibulid, or Vibulid. Vibulid comes into play with 1+1/+1 counter, and you may put a +1/+1 counter on it during your upkeep. But when you attack, it dies, or block with it. It's an interesting card. Order of the Ebon Hand. I'd like to see some of these. I don't know if this is an original Chandalar. They don't seem to have all the stuff. But Order of the Ebon Hand, Fallen Empires, basically kind of like a Black Knight. Protection from white, but you can give it first strike, and you also pump it offensively, which is neat. Find Fluke and Diabolic Intent. Diabolic Intent, excuse me. And then we come back here. We got more terrors. I probably just had a bunch that I wanted to put in here for decks and stuff. We got a nice giant slug. And a pretty good card from Ice Age. Demonic Consultation, I want to say it is. Yeah, Demonic Consultation. Get out of there, would you? As you can see, it has a lot of text on it. Name a card, remove the top 6 cards of your library from the game, and reveal the next card to all players. If it's the card name, put it into your hand. If not, remove that card from the game, and continue revealing the top cards of your library and removing it from the game until the named card appears. A lot you can do with something like that. And then we got Mind Rot, some Abandoned Hopes here. Another card from that Urza set, Ostracized, that was really good. Wait, why is it doing this? Yeah, Ostracize. Look at a opponent's hand and discard a creature card from it, essentially, for 1. Pretty good. Unnerve and Wall of Distortion. They still had Wall of Distortion when Masks came out. They still had walls. Walls aren't a thing anymore. And haven't been for a while, I don't think. Come on, stop being so glare. We got Enslaved Whore, Soul Drinker, and a Banshee from the Dark here, I want to say. Oh no, this might just be beta. Nope, it's the Dark. You can see the symbol there. It's just really, really hard to see. But, good old classic Magic. They don't have wee walls like the Super C, though. Sometimes there are, Bo. Sometimes. Wall of Shadows. Wall I kind of liked. Although it is just a 0/1. But damage dealt to Wall of Shadows by creatures it blocks is reduced to 0. But, I mean, it's so easy to get rid of. Molting Harpy. And hey, Sorcerer's Queen. We've been seeing the Queen lately in Chandalar. Sanger Autocrat. Divining Witch. And another wall, Carrion Wall. It's a 3/2 regenerator instead of a 1/4 regenerator. Multiple copies of the same slot. Alright, looks like we're getting into the creature section of my binder. So we got Plague Dogs, Ragman, and Bone Shredder, which is honestly a pretty decent card. Basically a 1/1 flyer, but that is also a terror, so it doubles. You know, you can play. It has Echo, which you have to pay its casting cost again the next upkeep. But I mean, if you could just use it as a terror as well. we got ourselves Gravebane Zombies, Sanguine Guard, and a Fallen Angel. Later edition Fallen Angel. We got our Mischievous Poltergeist, our Tethered Scourge, and our Strong Arm Thug. Not a lot of fancy anythings here, but that's okay. Let's see. Brood of Cockroaches. Here's another classic card, a Bog Wraith, 3/3 for 4. With Swamp Walk, which is better than most 3/3s for 4 in that day. Kumbaya Witches. I believe their thing is you can ping with them like a Timmy, but your opponent gets to choose to ping something as well. That's why they're 1/3s, not 1/1s, and they only cast 2. But they can, your opponent gets a lot of value out of that, so it's not the best. Let's see, Blighted Shaman and Mana Leech here. That's on the next page. We have 2 sets of Phyrexian Defilers. I probably have 4 in each or something like that. And then we got a Silent Assassin. Destroy blocking creatures with their... Pretty nice. Yep, speaking of old school magic. Scavenger Ghoul. 2/2 for 4 that can possibly regenerate. A Junin of Freet. It's a pretty good card. And what is it? The Wretched, right. The end of combat, gain control of all creatures blocking the Wretched. Lose control of these creatures if the Wretched leaves play. So basically, if you could throw like a lure on it and regenerate it, you could just own all your opponent's creatures, which is fun. Quagmire, a Lamprey. There's cards that nobody's heard of in fucking decades. Shimian Night Stalker. An interesting old school card. We got Crazed Scourge, Cackling Witch, and Phyrexian Prowler. Nothing too fancy at the moment again. Sorry about the glare. We got Wrathy Fiend, Cateran Enforcer, and a Death Gazer over here. I'm going to throw this on YouTube if you want to pause and like look at anything in the future, but probably just be easier to look up the cards on like Card Kingdom or something. Rank and File, it's another weenie killer for green. When it comes into play, all green creatures get -1/-1. Go into turn. Stromgol Cabal we got over here. Counter target white spell, specific colored hate. Cateran Kidnappers. Wrath the Assassin. Another Assassin. And then we got Strong Arm Thug. Ooh, there we go. Got a Sanger and some Lord of the Pits here. Primeval Shambler. And a Cateran Slaver. But then we got the classic Sanger Vampires from some revised there. And we have 2 from 3rd edition, a couple more from a little later sets, but there's your place set of Sanger Vampires. Pretty good condition too. We got our Lord of the Pits here. It's another one we've been seeing the computer kill itself with lately. Keeper of Tressorhorn. Phyrexian Plague Lord. And we got a Pit Spawn here. An Avatar of Woe. Avatars are pretty interesting. There are 10 or more creatures in your graveyard. You can play 6 less colorless to play this. All the avatars had something like that. And In all graveyards, sorry. And destroy target creature just by tapping it, so... A little bit stronger than some of the early stuff. What's up, Acceleron? Avatar of... Whoa! Oh, it looks like we're going into blue now. That was the end of our black section of Magic. But we got Rewind, which can theoretically be a free counter spell. Counter target spell on tap up to 4 lands. We got Recantation here. And we got Windfall there. Which is kind of nasty. We got some Spell Blast from 3rd edition here. Probably a set in there. Recall, which is a nasty good card in certain decks. We got Levitation. All creatures you control gain flying. Let's see here. We got Sliptide Serpent, Ray of Command, and Lilting Refrain. Not Life Refrain. Alright. Let's see what else we got here. Customs Depot, Disappear, Rebuild. Ensnare, Rising Waters, and Flash. Flash is an interesting card. You can play a creature as an instant, basically. Let's see here. We got Soothsaying, Energy Flux, which is a nasty one for artifact decks. We've seen that one recently. And Browse. Alright. And then we got... My blue is probably not very great. Rising Water Stasis pretty well. Probably, yeah. Definitely. We got Shoving Match. Private Research right here. And a Power Sink. Classic. We got Douse. We got Frantic Search, which I quite enjoy. Draw 2, discard 2 on tap up to 3 lands. And High Seas. Red hate color card. Parallax Tide. Attunement. Return attunement to owner's hand, draw 3 cards, and choose and discard 4 cards. That's pretty brutal. But you can do it over and over again if you need to fill your graveyard. Opportunity. The 6 mana draw 4 card. We got Dominate here. Rising Waters. ×2. Or no, this isn't it. I thought they were for a second. And War Tax. Sorry, this is War Tax. We got Zephyr's Embrace. +2/+2, Flying, and Shroud. We got Lingering Mirage. And Squeeze. Squeeze me. Customs Depot. Parallax Tide. Good old fading mechanic. False Demise. Ensnare. Got a legendary card here in Brainstorm. I got a few of those. And Dissipate. Which is, you counter the spell and you actually remove it from the game. Which can be pretty nasty. We got Hydro Blast here. Which is basically the same as Blue Elemental Blast, just from a different set. Looks like we got a set of Blue Elemental Blast, which is great. Great for sideboard. Pretty great anti-red card. Dissipate used to be worth so much, yeah. We got a really cool card here. I never quite got around to making a deck out of it, but... Glimpse the Unthinkable. For 2 mana, you mill a player for 10 cards. I have another one down here. I never quite made a deck out of it, but... Exhaustion. Another Glimpse the Unthinkable. And... Extirpate, which has Split Second, which is basically the equivalent of an interrupt. This card from a graveyard, other than a basic land, search its owner's graveyard, hand, and library for all cards with the same name as that card and remove them from the game. It'd be very powerful if you know your opponent's running a set of something that they need. Yeah, exactly. It worked well with the mill, you know? Oh, we have 3 of them, too. Look at that. This is, like, obviously this should be in the black, but this is like me theorizing decks. So I just put them next to each other. Alright, we got some old school Magic again. With the Glyph of Delusion here on the side here. Legends card. Enchantment alterations there. And Vision Charms. Solid multi-card. We got here Venerian Gold. Legends card probably nobody remembers. I don't even remember it. Remand. And Fact or Fiction. We also got some classic unstable mutations here. I pulled it's on the flip side of this, and there's 4 of them, so we got a play set of those as well. Dismiss is a counter target spell, and you draw a card. Yeah, what's up, Iggy? Alright, let's head back up here. We got King Crab, Stern Proctor, and Saprazon Legate. Oh, jeez. Did not lose the fridge. That's good, Iggy. I'm glad it came out much better in the end for you, because that could be scary stuff. I'm glad everything's looking good for you as well. Transcendent Drake. We have 2 Academy researchers here. And let's see here. Soul Devi Sage. Stronghold Zeppelin. And a Brine Seer over here. They love pickles. Oh. Alright, phone. Relax. Alright. We got our Chambered Nautilus. Extravagant Spirit. And Glacial Wall. Shoutouts to walls again. Saprazon Breaker. Indentured Djinn, and Harmatan Ifrit. Nothing but Bride. Phantom Warrior. Timid Drake. And a Segovian Leviathan. Wall deck once. Does Walnut? You're gonna see a wall deck I've made. I never completed it, but it was functional enough to play. You'll see it a bit. Lord of Atlantis. Classic blue. Let's see here. Sandbar Serpent. And Raven Familiar over here. Damn Echo. Sibilant Spirit. Walking Sponge. 2 of them, actually. And then we got Stronghold Machinist. Stronghold Biologist. You can see they connect, that these cards connect art-wise. Kind of like that, which I think is really cool. And then we got an old school pirate ship, which is a 4/3 that can do the Timmy ability. Hey, Smokin' Bill. Also from 3rd edition. We got Jolting Merfolk here. Let's see, Stronghold Zeppelin. And Sailmonger, naturally. Yeah, the art on these are just great. Diplomatic Escort. Merfolk Looter, and another Sandbar Serpent. We got Drifting Jin. Stronghold Zeppelin. And Fogbank. Is a flyer that does not receive or deal combat damage, so unless you remove it some other way, it's gonna be a pain in your side. Comes the most legendary card in Magic, the Island Fish Gisconius. But we also got a Trickster Mage here and a Deep Spawn over here. Good old Fallen Empires. Yeah, the Fogbank art is really neat. The dinosaurs getting lost in the fog. But speaking of one of my favorite arts of all time, Leviathan. Isn't that thing just so pretty? One of the worst creatures in Magic, but God, is the art on it just so good. I mean, it's a 10/10. That's a big creature. It has trample. Yeah, absolutely, Squibs. Same. We also got an air elemental over here. And now we got our Devouring Deep ×2. And a Wall of Vapor, more Legends cards. Got Island Walk. Nope, we're into our red now. There's no cards on this page, as you can see, so. Disintegrate and Fireball. Great early pump to kill things. I'm sure I have a playset of both. And this one that's, you can't see too well, that's Conquer. That's gain control of target land. Let's see here. Burrowing. Hilariously silly. Vertigo. And Steam Blast. We got, let's see, Flame Wave. Scald here. And Rivalry. Legacy. Saga. Stronghold, I want to say, was that set? And then we got ourselves a Jagged Lightning here, a Disorder, and a Torch Song, Bulwark, Gitu Warcry, Thieves Auction, card I will probably never use, never used, Chaos Quarters here, followed by a Chaos Lace. I probably did that because I thought it was funny. Oh no, it's Close Quarters. No, I just can't read, and I think I'm funny anyways. Close Quarters, Chaos Lace, and a Smoke. No player untaps more than one creature during their untap step. Alright, stop glaring, you son of a bitch. that's better. Sowing Salt, Ancient Runes, and Magistrate's Veto. Another Jagged Lightning right here. Shatterstorm, great anti-artifact, of course, because it destroys them all. And we got a mob mentality here. And we got Last Ditch Effort. We got Shatterstorm, destroy all artifacts again, and Flashfire, destroy all planes. So, got your normal specific color hate cards. Orcish Oriflamme, which is just awful, really. Volcanic Wind, and Acidic Soil. We got Desperate Gambit, Guerrilla Tactics, and Rack and Ruin, followed by Shiv's Embrace, Chiron Negotiations, or Chiron Negotiations, I'm not sure which, and Mercadia's Downfall. This is such cool art. On coin? Flipping coin? That's hilarious, Dr. Acceleron. Okay, we got here an Elkin Lair from Visions. Jukalops from from Ice Age, from Snow. And we got a foil. You can see its foiliness there. Flash of Defiance. Only in here because it's a foil. We got the better, cooler Shatterstorm now from 3rd edition, including a Shatter itself, both from 3rd edition. Bloodlust, which I think is a really good card, honestly, for if you're playing red quick. Like, this is +4 damage. That's pretty good. Or you can give a creature +4, -4, and then lightning bolt them. There's a lot of usage in this card, I feel. And Pyroblast, which is just the red version of the Elemental Blast from Ice Age. Exactly. Mob Justice here. Yeah, Earth Rift, which you can buy back. It's a pretty hefty destroy target land card. But it's 7 mana. I'm not sure what instances you're going to need to destroy mana that bad, but hey. Rain of Salt destroys 2 lands. We got our Kindles here. 2 damage plus the amount of Kindles you have in the graveyard. Raise. And Crevice. Creatures with Mountain Walk may be blocked as if they did not have that ability. What a legendary card. I mean, it is from Legends, after all. Here's the red Elemental Blasts. Gotta have your set. You know, deal with blue. Lightning Blast. And the Brute, which I did believe we saw in Chandalar. Legends as well. Do I say our avatar? I believe I do, actually. We'll see in the future. Alright, so we got Orcish Artillery. Seal of Fire. The Legacy set had these, like, giant growths and shocks and, like, counters that you could just play, but, like, an enchantment form, or aura form as they're called now. Pretty neat stuff. We got Psychotic Fury. Like a multicolored creature gains double strike and you draw a card. We have Seething Song, which is your kind of a red dark ritual. For 3 mana, you get 5 red mana. It's a pretty cool card. I like stuff like this. Mana ramp. We got, is that the next page? That is the next page, okay. So we have a Granite Gargoyle. There's no cards here as well. Let's see. There's a Granite Gargoyle here, also 3rd edition, and let's let's see, Viashino Sandstalker. It's a 4-2 with haste that returns to your hand, which has its abilities. Could be useful, sure. Alright, we got some more classic stuff here. Active Volcano. More blue hate cards. That's Faint, or Faint, yeah. And we have Immolation from Legends yet again. Target creature gains +2, -2. Good removal, good boost, depending on what you want to use it on. This is an Unlimited Mountain. It doesn't have the tap symbol, it says tap. So I probably threw it in there for that reason. Blazing Effigy. And Raging Bowl. The 2-2 for 3. Classic creature. Magic creatures not being that great. Underrated back in the day? Probably Dr. Acceleron. Sulfur Elemental. Rock Hydra. And Dragon Whelp. Both of them from 3rd edition as well. Used it, and it was because he didn't have that many cards. But oh, that's what I like though. Like when you're pushed against the wall, you can find so many neat cards that other people don't use that find fun ways for them, which is my favorite kind of way to, you know, Magic. We got our Keldon Warlord here, and 2 sets of Fire Ants. Deal 1 damage to each other creature without flying, which is great control for your dorks. We got Flame Elemental, Renegade Warlord, and a Wall of Fire. We got ourselves a Rock Badger. Classic card, that one. Electrite. And a classic, Atog. Also from 3rd edition. We have 2 Viashino Cutthroats here. And we have a Shivan Phoenix. When it's put into the graveyard, return it to owner's hand. That's pretty nice, honestly, but it costs 6, which isn't so nice. Let's see. We got what? Laccolith Warrior. And we got Flowstone Overseer. And here we got Fire Elemental, classic. Another Rock Badger for some reason. An Archmage. And then, of course, getting more of the Urza set here. Viashino Heretic. And Yitu Fire Eater. Which is great if you can pump it with, say, Bloodlust. Sack it for 6 damage. We got ourselves a Spitting Drake. A Rite of Ritual. Add 2 red mana to your pool, then 1 red for each one of these. Once again, red had some ramp for a little bit there, huh? Speaking of, Orcish Lumberjack. Sacrifice a forest to add 3 of red or green, however you want to do it. Pretty cool mana ramp with some land sacrifice there. Ogre Taskmaster. Icefall. As I said, I was in Magic a little bit when the newer Ice Age set came out. Again, newer. Falling Manticore, or Flailing Manticore, not Falling. Oh, the next page has the lovelies on it, too. We got Keldon Vandals here. Vug Lizard. And Flailing Ogre. And of course, to round out our set here, we got 4 Arabian Nights Curd Apes. Love via Curd Ape. Basically a 2-3 for 1 in early Magic as long as you had a forest. And when you had dual lands, they just instantly became 2-3s for 1. Not getting much better value than that from early Classic, or Classic early Magic cards. Foil cards. I had a foil I showed off a second ago, but I don't think I have that many foils, honestly. Alright, on to white here. We got Parallax Wave, Congregate, which is a card I quite enjoy, since I used to run lots of creatures in decks. And Shield Wall, which is just not that good. Well, we did see that in Chandalara. Let's see here. We got Righteous Aura, Civi's Valor, and Angelic Favor here. Which is kind of crazy. If you control a planes, you may tap an untapped creature to play this for free. But it's only for a 4/4 angel creature that blocks for a turn. But still, it's pretty neat. Prize 4/4. Rune of Protection Artifacts. Rune of Protection, not Circle. Enlightened Tutor. Tutors are always nice. Artifact or enchantment card and put it on top of your library, but it's only 1 white mana. That's a deal. And remove enchantments. Another Legends card. Alright, we got ourselves Clear. Let's see. Presence of the Master. Whenever a player plays an enchantment spell, counter it. Anti-green there for sure. Whenever this is Sanctimony. Nice. We got Castles, which are, you know, they're alright. They'd be good in some decks. Reprisal. Destroy target creature with 4 power or greater. An Opal Acrolith, excuse me. Most of these sets did not have foils, yeah. Most of the sets I've shown off definitely did not have foils. Knighthood. I want to say that's actually an unlimited Holy Strength. And we got Caribou Range. Moving on over here. We got Hope and Glory. Martyr's Cause. And we got Sarah's Hymn right here. And of course, one of the most legendary cards in Magic, Swords to Plowshare. We have 3 of them, almost a full set. The top one we have is either 3rd edition or unlimited again, but I'm not sure which. But I think it's 3rd edition, revised. Legendary card though. Exile and Peace and Quiet. Caravage Crusade deck because why not? Yeah. It's pretty funny. A Pure Lace. What a great card. And Empirical Armor. What is that? Not Empirical. Imperial Armor, excuse me. And another Enlightened Tutor. Alright, we got ourselves a Pariah here. We got Renounce. And fortify an area. All walls you control gain banding and get +1/+0. It's legit. We got Absolute Law. We have Divine Transformations. I want to say I have 4 of these. Pretty cool card. For back of the day. And Breath of Life. We got Pariah again, but the Urza Saga version. Let's see, defensive formation and knighthood. We got Unyaro Griffin right here. And a Naraja Griffin. And up through here we have Trap Runner. Target attacking unblocked creature becomes blocked. Such an interesting ability. Oracle's Attendance. Like, what does that mean for trample creatures? Is it just all blocked? Lin Civi, Defiant Hero. For you rebel lovers out there. And Chieftain Endal. Are such a flex. What's up, Ashram? Song Stitcher. Yo, what up, Skilling Blow? Hi! We got Sanctum Guardian there. And Shimmering Barrier here. I didn't think I saw you yesterday, Skilling Blow. If I didn't have to go for the marathon, I would have stayed on just to see if you'd have made it. I didn't think I saw you. It's okay, though. Archangel. Just a bigger Sarah Angel. Ardent Militia. And Monk Idealist. Let's see. Seasoned Marshal. Voice of Duty. And Voice of Reason. Just flying 2/2s for 4. This one has protection from green. This one has protection from blue. We got Heavy Ballista. And a couple Jasmine Seers here. Actually, almost through this binder. Now we have the green binder to do. Let's see here. We got Warrior Encore. You can redirect 1 damage to the warrior. On the warrior to a different creature, which is pretty neat. We've seen some mask cards, speaking of. Fountain Watch. Aww, you'll find him, Skilling Blow, I believe. We got Keljorn Elite Guard there. Let's see, Elite Archers. 3 damage to target attacking your blocking creature for 6. Fun. Charmed Griffith. Griffith? And Seasoned Marshal. Intrepid Hero. You just tap to destroy a big creature. Sarah Advocate. And Sarah Advocate again. Hey Zoda, how's it going? Oh no, Squibs, that's brutal. I'm sorry to hear that. That sucks. So the way that I managed to keep. That's good, that's good. Avenger Endal. That's really good, honestly. We got Ignoble Soldier. And Tonic Peddler. We got Radiant Dragoons. Staunch Defenders. And Sunweb. I'd love to see him if you ever come across him, Squibs. We got Cloud Chaser Eagle. Order of Sacred Torch. And Order of Leitbur, which is another Fallen Empire's protection from black, pumpable knight. You see, I tried to get a white deck going here. You can see I got some ideas. I got 3 white knights here. Of course, we got Holy Strength as well. That's on the next page. The Amro Kithkin that we've seen quite a bit in Chandalar. Let's see here. Osai Vultures, which are also in Chandalar. Legends cards. And we have Keeper of the Faith from Legends as well, all Legends stuff. Do I have a Fire Exchange right now? I might. Ring of Gix, which was the yeah, it might have been something else here. I don't know if I own one. It is a little hard to see. I do apologize. Ring of Gix, which is Icy Manipulator with Echo, but it costs 1 colorless less. But you do have to pay 3 again if you want to keep it. Umbilicus and Welding Jar. We got Whetstone and a classic, Feldon's Cane. We got Urza's Armor. Reduce a source. Whenever a source deals damage to you, that damage is reduced by 1 for 6 colorless. It's kind of funny. If I did not get one from a box and then it was the last card of the last. Oh no. Oh no. Delos Cone. And Flowstone Armor here. It's artifacts time. We got Kormal's Bell, Sunglasses of Urza, and Mercadian Lift. Balance? No, they did not. Storage Matrix. Crafted Skull Clamp. Or Skull Cap, excuse me. And everybody's favorite, Jandor's Saddlebag. Saddlebags. Mercadian Atlas. Iron Lance. And we got ourselves an Ivory Tower, 3rd edition. We got Erratic Portal. Tooth of Ramos. Equipment, pre-equipment. No cards in either of these ones, but we do have Tormod's Crypt, which removes an entire graveyard from the game, and Rod of Ruin. You want an expensive Timmy. Endoskeleton. Chiron Archive. And Baron's Codex. We got Angel's Trumpet. The heck is that? Oh, it's not in English. I was like, why can't I read that? Because it's not in English. I don't remember what the name of this card is. Got some of that Italian Legends or something like that. And Flying Carpet. Yeah, I was like, what? It kept zooming in on it, like, what the heck is that name? Jalem Tome. Mana Prism. And Damping Engine. Another Angelic Trumpet, or Angel's Trumpet. Credit Voucher. And Fluctuator. This is the one I had in a deck with the card earlier where you get 1 black mana for each creature card in your graveyard or something like that, or each card. I had a Fluctuator deck that could basically cycle the whole deck and just kill you that way. Classics here. We've seen them a lot in Chandalar lately. We got Throne of Bone, 3rd edition. Throne of Bone again. Wooden Sphere. Crystal Rod. Iron Star. Ivory Cup. Soul Net. Some Glasses of Urza. Oh, it's Life Chisel. Okay, thank you, Squibs. And Phyrexian Vault. This whole page is just like old school, slight life gaining artifacts that I don't think anybody really played with too much. We got Parallax Inhibitor. Pit Trap. This has got to be one of the worst rares of all time now, because nothing uses fading. And Defense Grid. We got ourselves a Basalt Monolith. Winter Orb. An Ashnod's Altar. I had a Sliver deck with an Ashnod's Altar and a Sliver Queen once, but I traded my Sliver Queen for a Mana Crypt. Heartstone, which I believe these two go hand in hand. Glowstone Armor, and Belba's Armor. We got ourselves a Henge Guardian. Glowstone Thopter costs 7. The thing costs 7. Ticking Gnomes, I did too, Squibs. Wirecat. Brass Security. What's up, Ant? And Toymaker, how are you doing? And we got Drake Skull Cameo. What a name. Mobile Fort. And Primal Clay, which have somewhat similar abilities, kind of. Oh, here's a foil. Coming up here. We got Grapeshot Catapult. We got Metallic Sliver. And Rusting Golem. But here's a shiny. Is Transguild Courier. We got here, Is It Signet, Demir Signet, Selesnya Signet, Orzhov Signet, Gruul Signet, Boros Signet, Golgari Signet, Simic Signet, Azorius Signet. Basically all these are 2 colorless artifacts that you can tap 1 tap for a combo like green-blue or white-blue or red-white or so on and so forth. Oh, nothing on the back of that. We got ourselves a Radko Signet as well, because we needed another Signet. We got ourselves a Rith's Grove. And an Urborg Volcano. Now we're coming to the back. Yeah, they can definitely ramp up pretty nicely. So we're getting extra lands and extra cards. I just didn't really have much other places to put. Forbidden Watchtower, which is a pretty damn good card from back in the day. You can get yourself a 1/5 blocker if you needed one. Forehaven. And what's that? Ruins of Ruins of Trocaire. We had Saprison Cove and Treetop Village, which is the green version of the tower, but you get a 3/3 instead with Trample. Which which is pretty nice. I have a couple of them because I played green. Rushwood Grove. And Havenwood Battleground. Over here we got ourselves a Shivan Gorge. Get to Encampment. Dwarven Ruins. Mercadian Bazaar. Subterranean Hangar. Phyrexian Tower. Honestly, a pretty solid card. Spawning Pool, which was probably one of the worst. You get a 1/1 Regenerator. That was the Black's version of these lands. There's 2 of them there. Maze of Shadows. And this is basically your Maze of Ith for shadow creatures. Blasted Landscape. And Winding Canyons. And so we got the Terrain Generator here. And Crystal Vein. And we got Frenzied Tilling. And Seal of Doom. That's part of the seals that came out in that set. We got Daragaz's Caldera. We got Rith's Grove. And Dromar's Cavern. They're nice that they tap for 3 colors, but you do lose a turn of mana unless you can find ways to drop more mana. Let's see. Golgari Rot Farm. Selesnya Sanctuary. These are all going to be very similar, just in land form. Gruul Turf. Orzo's Ballistica. Or, wait, Basilica, excuse me. Is it Boilerworks? Boilerworks. Boros Garrison. Lesbian Sanctuary? I mean, maybe. What they call my stream. Dimir Aqueduct. Azorius Chancery. Rakdos Carnarium. All again, the comes into play tap, but you gotta return a land when you do it. But they add tap for 2. There's nothing on the backside this time. Simic Growth Chamber. And now we got deck ideas, I think, that basically are back here. We got Overrun. Nice card. We got nothing. Oh, this is from the Arena set. I almost have a complete set of that, I think. But if you look at the symbol on it, that's not a symbol you're going to see just about anywhere else. Neat card. We have seen this in Chandalar as well. We got Animate Deads, which is a great card. We got more Avatars of Woe. Another set for that Arena set. Again, symbol you're not going to see too much of here. Arena, really cool card. Got Apprentice Necromancer here. And Reanimate here. May have had reanimation ideas. You don't know. We got Patterns of Rebirth. There's nothing else here. World Gorger Dragon. World Gorger Dragon. Shattering Spree. Dormant Sliver. Now here's a classic card that has a lot of power. All creatures come into battle with haste. It's Concordant Crossroads. And we have a Crumble next to that. Two good classic cards here. We got ourselves a Miri the Cursed. Flying First Strike and Haste for 4. Way better than the old school Magic cards, but creatures. We got Waning Worm here. We got Treacherous Urge. Shivan Meteor. Deals 13 damage to target creature. You can suspend it for 3. Pyrohemia. So weird. 13 damage to target creature. Very specific. And we're finally at the back end of this binder. We got Joda's Avenger here. What is this? We got Tide Walker. And Time Bender. Yeah, I can see that and doing combos with it. Ovenize. Frozen Ether. Provax Ascended Hero. Other white creatures get +1/+1. Non-white creatures get -1/-1. Pay 2 life and you can return it to your hand. Riftmark Knight. Mantle of Leadership. And Calciderm here. And that will close the book. If I can close the book. How old this binder is. Holy moly. That is everything but green. You may have noticed that I didn't have green in there. Because I have green in here. There is a creature that would reflect damage done to it, and you can... Oh, yeah. I could see that being brutal as hell. Especially for just 3 mana. You gotta wait for it to resolve, but... Alright, so we got City of Solitude. Let's see here. Catabotic Winds. Superior Numbers. Sustenance. Leyline. And more crumbles. Carpet of Flowers. Okay, you can't really see the crease in the binder there. Not the card, just there is a crease on the sleeve. Alright, we got ourselves Clear the Land and a Life Force. We've been seeing this one a bit lately. We got Reap and Hurricane. Classic, great air, flying removal for green and lots of damage. Lure of Prey. I had to make sure I was reading that right, but Lure of Prey. Yo, Long Leg of Athena! Do you have an Uncle Istvan? I used to. I don't think I do anymore. We didn't see one. Yo, thank you so much for that continued support. I greatly appreciate that. How are you doing today? Got Primal Order, and Natural Balance, and Mammoth Harness here. Homelands. Homelands fanciness, let me tell you. War Dance, Tropical Storm. And we got Roots, Centaur Glade, and Thelon's Chant. Yeah, we've been MTGing around here quite a bit lately. I'm doing alright, thank you. We got Decomposition. Elven Fortress. Hard to see some of the older cards, like, really well, but... Hidden Gorillas here. Which is kind of nasty. For 1 green, if you know your opponent's playing green, or artifacts, for 1 you can get a 5/3. That's pretty good. Let's see, Summer Bloom, Spreading Algae, and Unyaro Bee Sting, which is a green direct damage spell. For 4 mana, you can do 2 damage. What a rate! And it's a sorcery, not an instant. But hey, that is straight green direct damage. We got Whirlwind here. Destroy all creatures with flying. Multani's Presence. We'll see a lot of the better cards when I get to my decks and stuff. What's up, Pell? Hi. We got Stormseeker. We got Keen Sense. Familiar Ground. Familiar Ground with a white border. Saproling Burst. And then we got 2 Metamorphoses. The King of Rares, the Life Lace, which you always want to see when you buy like an unlimited or a revised or a beta deck pack and want to open it. Midsummer Revel. Let's see, Hidden Ancients. Fecundity. Wait, no, Fecundity. Something like that. Instill Energy. Wing Snare. And Retaliation. We got ourselves a Stunted Growth here. Freya-Lisa's Winds. Classic Ice Age cards. Touch of Vitae, or Vitae. We got Rowan. Nature's Resurgence and Rebirth. And we got a renewal down here. There's nothing over in these two. Yeah. Renewable. Pretty nice. We got ourselves Winter Blast. Forgotten Lore. And Living Artifact. We've been seeing this one a lot lately as well. And Chandala. Let's see, we got Thought Leech, Nature's Resurgence, and Hidden Herd. There's a lot of good, if your opponent plays stuff, that could be really big creatures early on. Channel Fireball, anybody? Crosswinds. All creatures with flying get -2, -0. Another Crosswinds is up here. And we got Follow Earth. On Hava Inn. Shoutouts to Homelands. We got Harmonic Convergence, excuse me. Another Hurricane, but this time from Ice Age. Cool art. Untamed Wilds. This is a great card. Yeah, green was my color, Squibs. Always my favorite. I loved it. Stormfront. Revive. And Call of the Wild. Yeah, I like green. I like the phthalates and stuff. Fog, classic. And Web here. Fog, Web, and Venom from the Dark. And these both from 3rd edition. Refreshing Rain. Venomous Breath. And Lure. We got Tranquil Grove. Kind of interesting. It's a repeating enchantment that can destroy all other enchantments. Gaia's Embrace. Creature gets +3/+3 trample and regeneration. Game Preserve. Yeah, Squibs. Absolutely. Living Lands, all forester creatures. Can be very scary, honestly. Spontaneous Generation. Put a 1/1 green sap creature into play for each card in your hand. It's okay. Downdraft. And Stamina. Yeah, absolutely, Squibs. I love that combo. Love you can be sneaky about it. Might of Oaks, one of my favorite cards from, I think it's Legacy, or is that Destiny? The Urza set. For 4, it's an instant where a creature gets +7/+7. Green can ramp up pretty quickly, so stuff like this is pretty nasty. How many I have? Oh, I got a playset. Look at that. Oh, love me, Might of Oaks. We got Rust. Legacy. Okay, that was Legacy. Rust. Subdue. And Glyph of Reincarnation. I would just advise looking up stuff like this anyways. The text on it is just so small because it does so many different... Hey, look at this. Play after combat is over. All surviving creatures blocked by target wall this turn are buried. For each creature buried in this manner, choose one creature from attacker's graveyard and return it to play under attacker's control. Treat these creatures as if they were just summoned. If there are not enough creatures in attacker's graveyard, all creatures in attacker's graveyard are returned to play. What a strange card. Yep, pretty much. Whirling Dervish, which is why I own it. Elvish Archers, some good classic green creatures there. Dark Watch Elves. Bloated Me. I should use this as the picture for my stream. The Bloated Toad. Leyline, or not Leyline. Sorry, Ley Druid. So a lot of these in Chandalar. Spike Soldier. Stronghold classic counter moving around. Thicket Basilisk, which we also saw in Chandalar. What's up, Doof? We cards in right now, boyo. And Elven Warhounds. We haven't gotten to the decks yet, which has all the real fun stuff in it. Hunted Wumpus. Wild Mammoth. And Sky Shroud Beast. Which is just an awful card. It's got Fading 2. It's a 10/10, but it comes into play tapped. So at most, you're going to get one turn of either blocking or attacking out of it before it dies. Like, what an awful card. Unseen Walker. What's up, Lake? An Anaconda here. We got Lumbering Satire. Daughter of Autumn. And Mind Bender Spores. There's another humongous text box of stuff that sure it's explained well. Radiant Spirit, which is another one that we've seen a little bit lately. Hunting Moa. And Moss Monster. A 3/6 from Legends. But I mean, look how cool that is. Look at the art on this thing. Like, that looks awesome. After the battle, an eerie silence gripped the forest. The losers' remains were lightly dusted with green. We have Groundkeeper, or Groundskeeper. Verduran Enchantress, which we've seen a lot in Chandalar. And Giant Turtle from Legends, we've also seen in Chandalar. Hey, isn't it our boy the Funkasaur? Eh, we got one from 3rd edition there. Fairy Noble in Land Leeches. This is Tim, what a combo. What's up, Happy Camper? Did you change your name? With another underscore? I want to say I think I've seen your name before, but I could be wrong. And welcome to the stream, otherwise. Appreciate you for being here. Okay. Maybe just another person had a similar name. Welcome to the stream. We got Sky Shroud Warbeast. Boa Constrictor. And Nestling Worm. We got, Wanvuli Ooze, Lana War Behemoth, Oratog, which honestly could be really good in a green fetch deck for forests. +2/+2 per sacrifice forest. Like, you can swing for a lot late if you know you can get away with it. Lone Wolf, which I like this card. Even if you block it, you just have the damage be done to your opponent. Rocks, which I believe does the same. And Barishi. Deadwood Treefolk. Sentinel Centaurs. And Miri Cat Warrior. Here's a Force of Nature. I have 2 of them. A little later art. I like the earlier art a little bit better, but still, I like the swag. Oh, yeah, because of the hair. Stampeding Wildebeests. And Child of Gaia. 6/7/7 trample for 6. It can regenerate, and you only need 2 during its upkeep. Quite a bit better than Force of Nature in some regards. It's only 1/1 less, but it gets regeneration. The upkeep is 2 less. Crash of Rhinos, 8/4 trample for 8, naturally. Emperor Crocodile. And a Cradle Guard. They have Echo, but a 4/4 trample for 3. I mean, you can get some value out of it. Spike Hatcher. The current... Yeah, you're right, Lake. You're right. Albino Troll. And Wood Stripper. Gang of Elk ×2. And Groundskeeper again. We got ourselves a Hawk Eater Moth. Titania's Chosen, which is a pretty cool card. Whenever you play a green card, it gets +1/+1. But you put this down second turn, it can get pretty big if it lives. Yavimaya Enchantress, which paired with the Mask that gives +2/+2 for each other enchantment is pretty wild. Sorry, I just realized I did not mute myself. As you can hear, I still have to deal with clearing my throat a little bit. Many apologies. Boa Constrictor. Locust Swarm. And a Bull Hippo. That one's for you, Doof. Look at that mouth. Another Bull Hippo. Rushword Legate. Have a good green creature, yeah. It is rare. The whole stream her deck, yeah. We'll get to the decks. The decks are gonna be fun. Kisau Drake, something along those lines. And let's see, Hornet Cobra, the 2/1 first strike for 3, which is just a worse version of the Elvish Archers, which are a 2/1 first strike for 2. God, classic creatures are amazing. Ivy Seer, Autumn Willow. It's honestly a pretty solid card. The 4/4 for 6 that has Shroud, but for 1 green, you can target a player that can actually target this creature, which honestly makes it pretty good for back then. Charging Rhino. It took me a second to read that, pal. Like, my brain was like, what? Oh, yeah. You know I play with my deck out. Deepwood Tantive. And a Legends Dragon, Emerald Dragonflies. Let's see, that's Aberoth there. Cumulative upkeep, -1/-1 counters. But still, a 9/9 for 6 is better value than a lot of these cards. Root Spider. And Saber Ants. We've seen this one a lot lately, Elven Riders. And we got Rune Druid here. Arctic Wolves. Razorian Badger. And River Boa. Which is honestly one of the better creatures of the small creatures. It's got Island Walks, 2/1 and Regenerate for 2 mana. Green didn't get much value back then. Elves of Deep Shadow, which is the Lana War, but you can tap it at black and it does damage to you, but still pretty neat. Pretty good mana ramper for green-black. Freyalise Supplicant, or something along that line. And a Warthog. A Swamp Walk. And we got Coiling Woodworm and Lycanthrope up there. Caustic Wasps. Femerif Archers. And Yavimaya Ants, which was Green's idea of a lightning, or of a ball lightning back in the day. Costs 4. The 5/1 trample with haste, but has a cumulative upkeep of 2 green, which means you have to play 2 additional green every turn. So 2, then 4, then 6, then 8, and so on. But it's a 5/1 trample with haste, so it's basically green's original ball lightning from Alliances. Tree Folk Seedlings. Brown... Ouf. And Quirion Druid. I should give it to Ant. Wolverine Pack. And Thicket Elemental. So it looks like we're going to start getting into green creatures now. Except for the fast bond here. Great card, by the way. Cracklin. Which is just basically a green pump card with Regenerate. Fast bonds. You can lay any number of lands a turn, but you take a damage for each additional land. Who cares? You're mana ramping like a boss. And Sakura Tribe Elder, which is good value as a chump blocker. Let's see, we got Simian Grunts, which is a 3/4 with Flash and Echo. Yeah, I believe it, DM. Hedge Troll. Briar Shields, which I was always a fan of. It's like a giant growth on your creature, but in enchant form. They get +1/+1 in the meantime. You can sacrifice it to give him +3/+3. We got Primordial Sage over here. Whenever you play a creature spell, you draw a card. Seems pretty good in green. This is, again, I had deck ideas, so I'm going to have a little bit of things out of order. Like Rakdos Guild Mage is black-red. Thorn Elemental, one of my favorite cards that I used. I played this card at a tournament with Lot of War Elves, Might of Oaks, Giant Growths, Priest of Titania, Gaia's Cradle. Why did I ever trade that card? And Uktabi Drake. Why did I ever trade that? That card is like $3 grand these days. Alright, nothing on the back here. But we got Wild Cantor. It's pretty fun. Gruul Guild Mage. Which I played a little bit of Chandalar offline. Pretty good card. I had that one. Might of the Nephilim. Scab Clan Mauler. That's Bloodthirst. And more Orcish Lumberjacks. Again, I was decking. Deck ideas here. We got ourselves a Tinderwall, which is honestly more good green-red ramp. It's a 0/3 wall that you can sack it for 2 red mana. Or tap a red and sack it to do 2 damage to a creature it blocks, but this is Ice Age. This is just good early ramp. But now we got Muscle Sliver and Scatter the Seeds, which I was always a big fan of because Saprolings. And oh, look at what we got here. I'm surprised this isn't in one of my decks. That is a Soul Ring from 3rd edition. One of the best cards ever made. 1 mana to make 2 mana. Such a great card. I can't believe this is not one of my decks. Mm-hmm. Play as an interrupt, yep. Wall of Blossoms, which is a great card. It's basically a free wall, so it'll buy you time. Because you draw a card when you play it. Here's another shiny. This Meyer Boa. but it is shiny, as you can see. And Healing Leaves, which is just as bad as Healing Salve was. Utopia Vow. Giant Dust Wasp. An Armadillo Cloak, which is a great card. +2/+2 Trample and Lifelink. Alright, we got more Tinderwall's Hero. Got the Unyaro Bees. Remember the Unyaro Bee Sting? This is just a better version of Killer Bees. I should make a bee deck. I probably had that idea at some point. How many do we have? Yes, I certainly did. Is that a Time Spiral card? Oh, the boas? Oh, no, you're talking about these ones? Well, we have Winter's Grasp up here, which is a nice land destruction. Oh, the Healing Spiral. I mean, it's possible. I don't even remember what series that is, to be honest. But there's the symbol on it. Hello there, how you doing? Oof, look at that art. Oh man, look at that art. Look at that art. Okay. Tinderwall and Yarrow Bees and Winter's Grasp. Then we got, oh, it's Planar Chaos. Okay, thank you. Thallid Shell Dweller and Thallid Germinator. And a Simian Spirit Guide. Which is a copy of an old green spell you'll see in a deck that I use. You can remove this card from your hand to add a mana. So it's like a free mana if you need it in a situation. Saproling Symbiosis. Heroes Reunion. And Assault Battery. I have another one of my favorites here. Doubling Season. Basically, it doubles the amount of counters and stuff you get when you trigger stuff like that. Naturalize, which is a green disenchant. Mwah, love you. Pillage. And Thallid Devour. See, these are the Fallen Empire, like, classic Thallids right there. Look at that. You'll see more of those shortly. I've won a tournament with these, Mortify and Putrefy. I played it in my mostly green deck, but I had stuff like, whatever the one green mana thing where you can lay it on your landing and tap for any color that you choose when you put it into play. But these come out of nowhere and they're very sneaky. Destroy target creature enchantment or destroy target artifact or creature. Can't be regenerated with Putrefy. They're cheap for what they do. And they're very nice. Vernal Bloom here is a, it's a mana flare for green. Magus of the Library, which is also quite good, really. And Savage Twister. Oh wait, I missed that there was a Thermal Karst on the bottom. At the bottom of here as well, which is another land destruction. And if it's a snow-covered land you destroy, you gain a life. Isn't that cute? There's for some reason a mountain here. I have no idea why. But we do have ourselves some beta cards right here. We have a set of beta Stream Lives. Target player gains X life. It's just cool to have these, to be honest. I don't think they're really worth anything, but it's just cool to have them. We got Shivan Worm, which is a pretty neat card. And another classic great card, Regrowth, also from 3rd edition. That's on the next page. We'll get to Mana Flares in a second. Sky Shroud Claim. There's 2 forests. Put them both into play as well. It's pretty big. And Decree of Savagery. Put 4 1/1 counters on each creature you control. It costs 10 though. A little bit pricey. You can cycle it for 6 and they all get +1/+1. Reflecting Pool, classic land. Love this one. Add a mana of any color that you can produce. So if you have like a City of Brass in play, that's just a better city at that point. Waiting in the Weeds. And Epic Struggle, which is in one of my other decks that you'll see later. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 20 or more creatures, you win. Giant Solifuge here. Trample, Haste, and it can't be targeted. The 4/1. Honestly pretty damn good, especially if you know your opponent is tapped out. You can get a couple of turns of value out of this. Phyrexian Walker, which is just a 0 casting cost, 0/3. Mana Flare, of course. Whenever a mana is tapped for mana, it adds an additional 1 of that mana. And then, of course, next to Fireball, classic, also from 3rd edition. And Rolling Thunder, which is also really interesting. Like a better Fireball, really. Since you have to pay an extra to divvy that up, plus you can only do it equally to the amount of creatures that you hit. This is just 1 extra red mana, or you can just have it do its damage however you want. More non-beta Stream of Lives. Heartbeat of Spring, which is the green version of Mana Flare that came out in that set. And Squalline, which is an instant hurricane. You may think this is worse than a hurricane because it costs 1 more and does the same thing, but that instant is really important. Instant speed is really important. Okay, hey. And we got a couple of empty binder sleeves in here. These sleeves are probably older than most people who play Magic, let alone the cards in here. But that is all the binders. I am going to use the bathroom real quick before I continue. And then we're going to get to my decks, which have a lot of the good cards in it that weren't in here. But I will be right back. out, Tool. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm back. I had to move my clothes over in the dryer. Alrighty then. Let's get our surface ready here again. I'm probably not going to show off all the cards in here because I have like whole boxes of just commons and stuff. Okay. Thanks again, Tool. I appreciate that. I hope you're doing well. Alright. Hello again, everybody. It's my hand. Oy. Alright. Yo, what's up, Armagite? Alright, well. First up, we'll check out this box. It's got a little wear and tear over the years. It's got 3 decks in it. All lined up, look at that. Oh yeah, these are from decades ago, Armagite. Let's check out the first one. Oh, perfect. Squibs, you're gonna like this one. Alright. So we got, is that, Hidetsugu's second right. If an opponent is at 10 life, it does exactly 10 damage to them, and it's an instant. There's a reason I had that in this. We got a set of shield spheres, which is a 0/6 wall for 0. Honestly, very good value. We got 4 flings in here, which is sacrifice a creature, deal damage equal to its power to target creature or player. Got a set of flings. Of course, we got a set of lightning bolts, one of the best cards, best burn spells in Magic ever. Now we got some interesting stuff in here. The Wall of Heat from Legends. I got these just because I thought they looked cool as hell, by the way. Like, for walls, it's not, like, that great, but it's a 2/6 for 3. It's a wall. I just love the old school look of these Legends cards, man. But here's where things get interesting. Cliff of Destruction. So I got a set of these, and what Glyph of Destruction does is when target wall you control gains +10/+0 when blocking. Any damage dealt to target wall is reduced to 0. Target wall is destroyed at end of turn. Now you can see how that would synergize well with Fling, right? +10 +0 is one of the craziest pump cards for one mana I've ever seen. I had to make a deck out of it. It just seemed like such a fun idea. So of course we got a play set of those. I used to have a Sliver deck, not anymore though. 4 Fire Blasts, one of the best burn spells in Magic history. Sack 2 mountains, and you can have it deal 4 damage to target creature or player. Otherwise, it costs 6, but you can sack 2 mountains for 4 damage. That's pretty great. Something you're probably not going to see too much of. Hammer of Bogard. And once again, I play with them because I think they look cool. It's a sorcery, and it does 3 damage to target creature or player, but you can return it to your hand for 5 mana. And I figured since I have so many walls in the deck, I'd probably be delaying them a while, right? So you could probably, you know, afford the Hammers of Bogarden. Then we got Wall of Earth. It's a 0/6 for 2. Later, Happy Camper. Yeah, we'll have some Chandelar next time. I haven't done anything like this ever, so I wanted to show off the cards. But again, Wall of Earth, just a classic classic red wall. Speaking of, here's my set of beta Wall of Stones. 3 mana, 0/8. I never quite got this deck finished and up and running like I wanted to, but the idea was there for sure. And we got 4 Incinerates for more burn. Incinerate, another classic 3 damage instant burn spell. And I have all Ice Age ones. And then after that it's just mountains. It's just lands after that. But we do have an unlimited mountain on top. No tap symbol. What kind of mountains do we have in here? Hey, Urza's Mountain. It's just all the sets. Tempest. Masks. Ice Age. Unlimited. There's your difference right there between Unlimited and 3rd edition. That's how you can really tell. One has a tap symbol, one doesn't. One's a slightly bit darker, too. But that is the fun wall deck I had the idea of a long time ago. Never quite finished it. But it looks cool. Next up, the middle deck in there. Looks like I went for land destruction here. Let's check it out. Destroy target land and it has flashback. Ooh, Braid of Fire. Braid of Fire now, I feel, is even way more ridiculous since mana burn's not a thing anymore. So, during your upkeep you add a red mana and it's cumulative. So the first turn you get 1, the second you get 2, the third turn you get 3, 4, 5, and so on. Burn all maps in XCOM! Hey, Liadla. Maybe. So this card has to go crazy nowadays. Birds of Paradise. Classic. Avalanche Riders, which is a solid card from Legacy. 2/2 haste creature with echo, but when it comes into play, you destroy a land. So basically, you get land destruction and a 2/2 that can attack. There's a revised Llanowar Elf. Molten Hydra. It's a 1/1 for 2. For 2 red and a colorless, you can you put a +1/+1 counter on it, and you can tap and remove all the counters for it to deal however many counters worth of damage on it to a target. More birds. Pillage. Bury target artifact or land for 3. That is mad valuable. That is a really good removal spell, because you don't just get the land removal, you get artifact removal, all for just 3, so that's good. Stone Rain, old school destroy land. Stomping Ground, which was the, it comes into play tapped unless you pay 2 life, but it adds a red or green mana. These are really good as well. These are really good. I have another one there. And of course for this deck, Argothian Worm does a nice job to fit in. Trample, when Argothian Worm comes into play, any player may sack a land to have it go on top of my library, essentially. But if you're playing land destruction, it's pretty much just a 6/6 trample for 4 mana. Obviously there are way better creatures now, but for this deck, it was a nice synergy. Stone Rain. Another Earth Rift. Another Molten Hydra. Painland, either add a colorless or a red or a green and get a damage for it. Stone Rain again. Earth Rift again. Thran's Quarry. At the end of turn, if you control no creatures, sack it, but it adds for 1 of any color. That's another good land, I feel. You're running creatures. Not really good in, like, vintage, but you know what I mean. The fun card. Another Pillage. Hydra. That is a revised Birds. With a bit of a bad cut job there. Another Stomping Ground. Fissure. Target land or creature is buried. Once again, good value. I know it costs a lot, but we got mana ramp in this, so it's not that big of a deal. And it gives good choice whenever you need. Birds of Paradise, another Argothian Worm, Stone Rain, another Braid of Fire. I don't know why I have Braids of Fire in this deck so much, but I guess it's for like flashback costs and stuff. Thermokarst, destroy a land if it's snow covered, gain a life. Village, another Llanowar Elf, Avalanche Riders, Thermokarst, Thran's Quarry. Thermokarst, a Putrefy. Sure, target artifact or creature. See, these are good. You sneak them in there. Let's see, Pillage. Another Carpelson Forest. Another Pillage. Another Fissure. Or Putrefy, excuse me. Another Fissure. Another Putrefy. Another Fissure. Avalanche Riders. Fissure. Argothian Worms. Molten Hydra. And, oh, we also had 2 Rolling Thunders in here. That's where you could pump all that mana into as well. But hey, a fun land destruction deck I made, who God knows how long ago. Alright, now we take the last deck in this box. We can see the little thing has probably just stuck to this or is gone at this point. Here we can see some brainstorms I have. I think this is going to be blue-green, I'm guessing. Yep. We got our forest, we got our Assault Zeppelin, which is flying trample for 4, which is, you know, much better than some of the older creatures I did. Arcane Denial. There's a counter spell. Your opponent draws 2 cards and then you draw 1 in the next upkeep. Pretty interesting counter spell. Trigon Predator, which, if it hurts an opponent, you can destroy an enchantment or artifact they control. Daze, one of the best counter spells in Magic's history. Simply because it can be free. Your opponent may not realize it and tap out. And, oh, you can return an island to your hand instead of paying its casting cost. Uh-oh. That counter spell with some nice art there. I think that's Ice Age, yep. Ninja of the Deep Hours is a very interesting one. 2/2 for 4, but has ninjutsu for 1 blue and 1 colorless. Which, if you have an attacking creature unblocked, you can basically play that and then switch that creature and have it swinging in. But when it damages an opponent, you draw a card. Assault Zeppelin again. Cloud of Fairies. Always loved this card. It's a 1/1 flyer for 1 blue, 1 colorless, but when it comes into play, you untap 2 lands. So essentially, unless it's countered or something, it's a free 1/1 flyer. You can also cycle it if you need a card or something. I like it. Here's a breeding pool. Green and blue, same as the pay 2 life thing, another good dually. Counterspell. Oh, why am I up here? Sorry about that. Forest. There's the Wall of Blossoms. 04 for 2, draw a card. Another breeding pool, another Blossoms Wall. We had a Brainstorm in here, because it's just a really good card. Coiling Oracle. When Coiling Oracle comes into play, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a land, put it into play. Otherwise, put it on your hand. Not bad for, you know, some. It's basically a draw card or a free land drop. You know, that's not bad. Counterspell. More ninjas. We got Ponder. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put them back in any order. Draw a card. Works really well with the oracles. More Arcane Denial. Clouds. Oh, here's... Remember Unglued? These are the lands from them. This might actually be unhinged. I don't really remember. But they had some of the coolest land art in Magic. No joke. This shit looks really cool. I love this style. It's the best thing that came out of Unglued. It's not even close. Health Boob Ponder. A little bit. Mana Leak, which is a counterspell unless they pay 3 additional colorless. Let's see here. Another Daze. Daze, Mana Leak, Counterspell, Oracle, Counterspells. We have a lot of control in this deck. And a lot of creatures. Some absolutely, yeah, for sure. What's up, Vagabond? How you doing? Ashnod's Coupon. So that's a cool deck. I remember this deck being pretty successful just because it has so much counter and draw in it. Alright, where else do I have decks? I don't think I have any in there. I'm gonna pass showing off a lot of those for now. Check this out, though. Look at this box. I think somebody gave it to me like this. But as you can see, it's just a bunch of loose cards in here. I believe these are white commons over here. These are blue. This is just like some random stuff over here that I just shoved in here because I didn't have anywhere else to put it. But yeah, there's a ton of cards in here. I may go through them at some point. But they're mostly like loose commons and stuff. What is this? I don't even know what this is. I guess we'll go through it together. Naturalize. Great card. Feed the Clan. Interesting. Roar. Off camera, sorry about that. Feed the Clan. Roar of Challenge. Some lands. Nice. Let's see here. Asceticism? Beacon of Creation? Okay. Put a 1/1 green insect creature token into play for each forest you control. Shuffle it back in your library. Very cool card. I have 3 of them here. Ocean Cloud Scraper, which is just a 13/13 for 7. That has an upkeep. No trample. Why would a 13/13 have trample? Ooh. What is this? I have a set of foil vexing shushers? Can't be countered. Target spell can't be countered by spells or abilities. Look at that. I didn't even know I had that. Oh, I think these were some green side cards I had decks for, because Kodama's Reach was really good. 3 mana for 2 lands is crazy value. Green Sun's Zenith. Search your library for a green creature card with a converted mana cost of X. Colony Hydra, which has the greatest devotion to green up there. Look at that. It's an 8/8, and it costs 1 less green for each green creature you control and has trample. But if you go for devotion decks, you're not going to find a much better creature than that. That's just 8 straight green. But 1 less full green for each creature you control. Oh, Primal Crux. Here we go. Each equal the number of... devotion. Its power is how many green mana symbols you have. I see what I was going for here now. World Spine Worm. When World Spine Worm dies, put 3 5/5 tokens in the battle. When it's put in the graveyard, put it back in your library. Let's see. Blanchwood Armor is always a favorite of mine because you can really ramp force into play as green. And there's some islands and just lands here. Okay. That was a little surprising. Got a whole foil set. Like, what is all that about? Where the heck did I get that? Like, that's cool. That should be in the binder. Not to mention, it's a 2/2 for 2 that can't be countered and can make other spells uncounterable. A little better than a grizzly bear, one might say. Good lord, these things are so old. What is this? Oh, I think I found another deck of mine. I got a fancy box for this one. I have no idea. I did not remember that. Okay. Well, it looks like I have a divider here, so let's see what's in the sideboard first. Tooth and Nail, pretty cool card. Asceticism, okay. Basically gives all your creatures hexproof. Oh, Angel of Hope. Avacyn or Avacyn? Angel of Hope. This angel and other permanents you control are indestructible. Oh, and we got a Platinum Angel in here as well. Look at that. You can't lose and your opponents can't win. Classic. Alright, let's see what I'm dealing with here. We got ourselves a Leatherback Bailiff. Garrick's Companion. So it's a 3/2 trample and a 4/5 for 3. The big creatures for cheap. Blanchwood Armor. Llanowar Elf. Green Sun Zenith. Okay. Dungrove Elder. Each equal in the number of forests you control with hexproof. Hey, there's the Primal Crux. Dungrove Elder. Fling the Platinum Angel at someone for lethal. That's pretty funny. Boundless Realm. Search your library for up to X basic land cards, where X is the number of lands you control. Costs 7, but again with green, that's not that hard to get. This was clearly a forest deck, because there's the Hydra that we came across earlier. Cultivate. 2 basic land cards, 1 in hand, 1 in the battlefield. Again, great value. Primal Bellow. Target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each forest you control. Kodama's Reach. Fantastic card. So is Cultivate, to be honest. Dungrove Elder. Yep. Hexproof. Lana Wars, Primal Crux, Colony Hydra, Garrick's Companion. Okay, so I had the idea of making a forest deck, essentially. Clearly needs a little bit of work, but honestly, it's pretty cool. I like it. I had the idea there. I like the idea that I had. Excuse me. They're very dusty. Yeah, there's 2 other giant boxes in there that I'm just not gonna pull out because it's just full of commons and stuff. I don't like this being like this. Oh, have a good night. Long live Athena. Appreciate you being here. Do I have a way to close this better? Maybe if I could put it in here. Great, it fits. I don't have to worry about it for another 20 years or whenever I open my cards again. Alright, here's the main show now. That's right, I keep my main decks in a He-Man lunchbox from the 80s. Masters of the Universe still has the latch here. Classic. It's got fun little art on the side here. Pow! Sorry again for not being able to go out a little further, but it even has specific art on each side of it. Like, this is a legit lunchbox right here. This is what we took to lunch in the 80s, even though I didn't go to school in the 80s. And probably why it was banned later. Alright, let's go ahead and open it up. Ooh. All of my better decks and such are in here. Let's show off first this Alliance ad. Coming in June! Look out for alliances in June, everybody. But I kept this tape to here because this is just a legit ad for alliances from back in the day I found. So I was like, oh, hey. That's fun. 2 bricks in it! But this here is a scry counter. I don't know how many people have seen these. But as you can see, it's from Reaper Miniatures circa 1994. So that shows you how long I've been playing Magic. It goes up to 20 on one side, and if you flip it, it goes up to 40 on the other side. And it comes with this cool little wizard guy. Unfortunately, they lost their orb a long time ago. They had an orb in their hand at one point. But as you can see, it is broken. Or it's missing there. Like, but... This was straight ordered from a magazine in '94, but I think my brother got a red one, I got a green one. I don't know if it comes well, but it is green. The theme was green, it had a green orb in its hand. It's a little old, it might have faded a bit in its color, but yeah, you got the cool little discounter where you can just like have it at your life total. Like, that's so neat. Okay, now it's time for many decks that I have in here. The whole collection is worth? Well, there's a couple of cards that definitely raise the value here in a few, but I don't really know. I never thought to just like think about. Oh, a little story. It's not a Magic card, but this Space Paintings by Ralph McQuarrie, The Pursued. I found this geocaching in the aughts at some point, or maybe the mid 2010s at some. No, it would have to be the aughts. But it's from 1980s. It's a movie fax card, and it's The Empire Strikes Back from Lucas to Luke. Hey, what's up, Jarfney? Ouija coin thing for her? That's life total, Jarfney. But I found that, and I was like, that's really cool. This is for Magic life total. Is this what you're talking about? Got a little magic, little dude that you can spin on it. Got a little nub there. Oh, okay. I didn't know if you're talking if you were being silly or not. Okay. What is that? What is this? Holy shit! I will present this without word. This is a movie ticket from 8/28/1999 for 6 cents. $8.25 for one adult ticket. The Mommy, forgot what it's called, but that is bonkers. You got the Pepsi in the background. The heck? It's got like a number on the back of it. I don't even know what this number's for. But only this day and showing. That is crazy. It might have been. Fuck if I can remember what numbers that's for, but I was like, what is this? Alright. Pickup number? I doubt it. Alright, let's go. This is my Gimme Dat deck. I can already remember it. Steal enchantment. It's pretty, you know, you steal an enchantment. Island, 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 island. Crown of the Ages. Switch target enchantment from one creature to another. AKA control magic, so I can pick up new things if I wanted to grab them. Deflection. Can choose a target to a spell to a different target. High Tide, which, until end of turn, all islands produce an additional blue. Another deflection. Counterspell. Classic. Annex. You control enchanted land. Another Crown of the Ages. Steel Artifact. Gain control of a target artifact. Treachery. It's basically control magic for 5, but when it comes into play, untap 5 lands. One of the 6 good Fallen Empire cards. Rebound. Target spell, which targets only a single player. Targets another player of your choice instead. Steel Artifact. Anthroplasm. Anthroplasm comes into play with 2 1/1 counters, or you can tap X and tap it to put a whole lot more on it. However much you can pump into it. Ooh. Nice 3rd edition control magic there. Legacy's Allure. You can put a treasure counter during your upkeep, and you can sack it and gain control of a creature with power no greater than the number of counters on it. More control. Another High Tide. Annex. Land. Hey, well, look at all that mana we can produce. We can pump into a rocket launcher, but you're going to see why. Confiscate. Gain control of target permanent. The Thackalus Deceiver is a 1/1 with Shadow, and you can sack it to gain control of target creature permanently if they attack and don't get blocked. So, another controlled creature. Steel Enchantment. Confiscate. Anthroplasm. Control magic. Another rocket launcher. Abduction is another control magic. Control magic. Okay, so here's the Palinchron. Do I have a, perfect. This combo right here is infinite mana. Which is why I got all those pump spells in this deck. So the Palinchron, when it comes into play, you untap up to 7 lands, but for 4, you can bring it back to your hand. It costs 7. So, basically with High Tide in play and the Palinchron, you can gain a mana every single time you play it and bounce it back to your hand. So you can get unlimited mana that way, and that's why the rocket launchers are in here, and the other pumpable creature and stuff. But yeah, that was in this deck I only played. It's not very good because it's so focused on like just grabbing creatures and stuff, but it was a fun one to pull out every now and again for group magic. Bribery, you can search an opponent's library for a creature card and put it under play in your control. Lots of islands there. Another Thackalus Deceiver, another High Tide, another counter spell. Deflection, because you can deflect something anywhere. It can be fun. Confiscate. Helm of Possession, where, again, you can sack a creature, gain control of another creature with the Helm of Possession. That's a great way to steal creatures. And, yeah, that was that deck. It's very silly. It's very one-note, but that was the point. It wasn't supposed to be anything, like, spectacular. I never really played for... There's only one deck that I really tried to, like, win on the first turn with. We'll get to that one last. Hello, could you come out, please? Would you like my elbow? Alright, here's another really fun green card deck I had. Hold on. There we go. Okay, so green deck, we got Skargan Pitskull, which is just 1/1 Bloodthirst and can't be blocked by creatures with less power. Basically a little weenie. A family-friendly stream. Might of Old Krosa. Target creature gets +2/+2. If you played this spell during your main phase, that creature gets +4/+4 instead. There's an unlimited land. Bounty of the Hunt. So you know what the Force of Will is always the one that gets the, obviously, because it's one of the best cards in Magic. But Bounty the Hunt was the green version, which you could put 3/1/1 counters on a creature and remove them. So it's basically they get +3/+3. But you could remove a green card from your hand instead of paying its casting cost, and it's an instant. So it's like an instant giant growth for 3/3. Giant growth there. Beautiful. Rogue Elephant, a 3/3 for 1 that you sack a force when it comes into play. Groundbreaker, that is legitimately the green Ball Lightning. It's a 6/1 trample haste for 3 green. We got Elvish Spirit Guide. You remember the Simian Spirit Guide from earlier? This is the card it's based off of. You can remove it from your hand from the game to add a green to your mana pool. Really good. Rancor, one of my favorite cards of all time. Enchanted creature gets +2/+0 and trample, and when that creature dies, Rancor goes back to your hand. Bounty the Hunt, Groundbreaker. Script Sprites, 1/1 flyer for 1 is honestly still pretty solid. Rogue Elephant, Bounty the Hunt. Silhana Ledgewalker. They can't be blocked except by flying creatures, and it has hexproof. This is when like stuff like this first came out, so I was throwing it in this deck because I thought, hey, that's a great thing. It's not bad at all. Another giant growth, all from Unlimited, I think. Turn 1 kill deck with Groundbreaker. This one can too. Oh, there's a foily. Foily Skargan Pit Sculpt. Troll Ascetic, which is just a great card. 3/2 for 3 that has hexproof and regenerate. Nasty card when it first came out. Bounty of the Hunt. Ascetic Troll. Ledgewalker. Wild Might. Target creature gets +1/+1. And they get an additional +4/+4 unless any player pays 2. So that's a really big ramp for damage. Rancor. Might of Old Krosa. There is a beta giant growth. Gotta love it. Swag. Spirit Guide, Troll Ascetic, Wild Might. But you're gonna see why in a second here. So we got Mana Crypt, which is a fantastic card. For 0, during your upkeep, you flip a coin. If you lose, it does 3 damage to you. Otherwise, it just taps for 2 colorless mana. For 0. It's a better Soul Ring. And yes, it can damage you, but when you're going for speed, that doesn't matter. This card is crazy good. Oh, that's awesome, Squibs. But of course, at the back end of this, some of my favorite Magic card in the game, probably Berserk. I haven't got this signed by the artist. Well, they came that way when I got them. But Berserk, until end of turn, target creature's power is doubled, and it gains trample. And at the end of the turn, if it attacked, you sacrifice it. This is such an incredibly good card. If you like Green Monster Smash, like this is one of the highlights of my... I don't know why I had that sideways like that. There we go. But some of my favorite cards ever. Again, this is another deck that's just not quite complete. I had the right idea, but one, I probably never had the money, and 2, just never got around to finishing it. But like these cards right here, these are all worth a lot of money, these ones. Not a ton, but quite a bit. You got your original Mana Crypt. I traded the Sliver Queen for this. I don't regret it. I love this card. And then the 4 Zerks, of course. 2 of them are signed. These 2. This one has a little bit bigger of a signage on it. Dan Frazier. Some of my favoriteest cards ever in that deck. Mana Crypt shouldn't even have been in this deck, to be honest. I don't know why, but it is in that deck. It should have been in my main deck. Alright, let's pull out another green deck, because you've not seen enough of those today. Hey, look at this. The Saproling token. Alright, we got Findhorn Elves, which are just Ice Age Llanowar Elves. Just tap for green. They cost 1. I think I've had these my whole life, which is why they're so worn out. What's up, Surrealistic? Psychotrope Thallid. So now we're working on fungus counter stuff. Privileged Position. Other permanents you control can't be the target of spells abilities your opponent controls. Wonderful. Scatter the Seeds. Lots of Saprolings. Thallid Shell Dweller. Defender that does Saproling stuff. Cultivate, of course, we saw that earlier. A Thallid from Fallen Empires. Honestly, as far as 1/1 for 1s go, it's not bad. It can make more 1/1s. And there's a Forest, another Thallid. Epic Struggle, there's the if you control 20 creatures, you win. Doubling Season, so all of our saps get doubled. Thallid Germinators, this is when they had a little bit better of Thallids coming into the game. Fungus. Elvish Farmer, where you can sack a sap for 2 life. So if you need life, there's that guy. Nice Swamp. Findhorn Elf again. Thorn Thallid, which you can remove 3 counters to do a whole damage. The 6 good Fallen Empire cards. Cultivate. Findhorn again. Another Thorn Thallid. Coat of Arms. +1/+1 for each creature that shares a creature type. Pretty self-explanatory in this case when everything's Saprolings and Fungus. There's another Fungus right there. Another Thorn Thallid. Felon of Havenwood. Each Fungus gets +1/+1 for each Spore counter on it. And for a black and green, remove a fungus counter in a graveyard, or remove a fungus card from a graveyard from the game and put a spore counter on each fungus in play. So now you're getting your legendary elf druids out here. We got a couple of them. Scatter the Seeds, Vernal Bloom. That is your green mana flare. Cultivate, Scatter the Seeds. The blank, Coat of Arms again. Verdant Force. Really, really good creature, honestly. 7/7 for 8, and each upkeep you get a 1/1, not just your own. That's wild. Coat of Arms, Doubling Season, of course, that would make it 2 counters each time. Another Doubling Season, another Bloom. Thallid, 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 Forest. Forest, some Swamps for the other guy in the deck. Findhorn, we got a Lotus Petal. Very nice. Thallid. Some Force, another Verdant Force, another Thallid. So yeah, there's our fun little sapling deck, Saproling. There's a little Saproling token card. I only had 1. I wanted to get a ton more, but again, no money. Do 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 do. Alright, we got 2 more decks to show off here, and I think we're done at that point. Alright, looks like we got a black deck here. Starting with Order of the Ebon Hand. A Black Knight. 3rd edition one. Swamp. Unholy Strength. Unholy Strength with a unfortunate little bit of a torn top part here. Order of the Ebon Hand. Darkness, which is a black fog. Basically, if they go out and attack, you just lay this and no combat damage is done. Morning Thrall. I must have splashed in a little bit of newer cards I was playing with at the time. But it's got Flying and Lifelink for 2. Here's another Unholy Strike. Again, it's probably a somewhat unfinished deck. When you play Dash Hopes, any player may pay 5 life, and you could actually counter a spell with it, which is really interesting. It's probably more in this just to get my opponent's life down. Dark Ritual, classic. Bad Moon, classic. Dash Hopes, Order of the Ebon Hand. That art. Knight of Stromgold, which is exactly the same thing as Order of the Ebon Hand, just a different card. Black Knight again. Dash Hopes again. Darkness. Oh, hey. Unlimited Swamp. Morning Thrall, another Unholy Strength, another Bad Moon. Love the Bad Moons. The deck we're playing right now in Chandalar. At least this is some of the deck I want to play. Another Black Knight, another Bad Moon. Another Knights. So it's basically Knights in, like, you know, small black creatures. There's your Hypnotic Spectre. Darkness, Order, Vampiric Link, which is just lifelink for 1 black. Morning Thrall, another Hypnotic Spectre, Knight, Bad Moon, and yeah, Hypnotic Spectre, Dash Hopes, Hypno. So we got 4 Hypnos in there. Pretty cool, mostly classic black deck. I splashed in a little of whatever I had at the time. Alright, and we got our last deck of the day here. Show off. Let's look at the sideboard a little bit. Not sideboard, just cards on the side. More than a sideboard. We got Volrath of the Fallen here. We got 3 of those. We got Ink Eyes, Servant of Oni, which is a pretty cool creature. Gamble, which is a nice tutor card, kind of. Scary tutor card. We got Red Dawnbringer here. At the beginning of your upkeep, you could just take a creature out of your graveyard and put it into play. Crosis the Purger. More graveyard and discard stuff. More discard in this case. Wait, why is this doing this? Do not tumble all over. I do not want you to be injured, cards. Anyway. Corpse Dance, which is put the top creature on your graveyard into play. It has haste, and then it dies. Still used today, Gamble, and rarely for the better. Hey, it's a Polar Kraken. It's the other big ice creature that was awful back in the day. 11/11 trample with a cumulative upkeep of sacking an island. And here's 4 Forbids here. Forbid has a buyback. You can discard 2 cards and bring it back into your hand. It's a counter spell. And that's the side of this one. Here's the actual deck. So we got Lotus Petal here. Gemstone Mine, which is a land that comes into play with 3 counters, and you can tap it for any color. Gemstone Mines, we got 4 of them in there. We got Watery Grave, which is a... yeah, you can pay 2 life to have it come into play untapped, but basically a dual land otherwise. City of Brass, classically great land card. Got a set of those in here. Underground River is just a pain land for blue and black, or you can add a colorless. And we got a play set of those as well. We got Exhume here, as we pointed out earlier, a great card. Each player chooses a creature card in his or her graveyard and puts that creature into play for 2. It's pretty good. Animate Dead, classic. Entomb, search your library for a card and put that card in your graveyard, then shuffle your library. I believe I have 4 of these. Do any of them? Oh yeah, these three are shiny. This one's the original one, but these three are shiny. I used to have 4 originals, but it got restricted, so I think I got rid of them, but then I got them again at some point. Nicol Bolas. So, yeah, if Nicol Bolas hits you, you discard your hand. Imagine that coming at you on the first turn. We got Jin Gitaxius Core Augur in here. At the beginning of your end step, draw 7 cards. Each opponent's maximum hand size is reduced by 7. So basically, you could just... And once you get this in play, they just don't have... They can't do anything, basically. The Crows and Cloud Scrapers in here just because it's a 13/13. We got ourselves a Dark Ritual. Corpse Dance. Sure, went over Careful Study. 1 blue, draw 2, and discard 2 cards. Perfect for this kind of deck. Mystic Tutor. Search for library for an instant interrupt, mana source, sorcery, or whatnot. It's a good tutor. Shallow Grave. Put the top creature card in your graveyard. It's basically Corpse Dance, but Corpse Dance has a buyback cost, but this only costs 2. Big zoom. We have Sutured Ghoul, the star of the deck. When Sutured Ghoul comes into play, remove any number of creature cards from your graveyard from the game, and it gets that power bonus. So, the Cloud Scraper being a 13/13, and any other 7+ damage card gets this swinging first turn, and it's over. Here's a Chroma, Angel of Wrath, flying for strike, trample, haste, protection, black protection, red, and vigilance. It's in here because, I mean, if you're going to reanimate something with, like, Exhume, it's a pretty good reanimation target. Dark Ritual, Exhume, Careful Study, a Beta Dark Ritual. Gotta like that. Pretty. Buried Alive, and oh my god, there it is. The 1 Power 9 card I own. Yes, that is a Black Lotus. And yes, I put it in my deck. And Doof did see it and touch it. It's true. Black Lotus. Add 3 mana of a single... Come on. A single color of your choice in your mana pool. Then is discarded. Decent condition. It's not great condition, but it's pretty good condition. But I always just like it. There it is. What's up, Shiva? This is pretty much, obviously, the pinnacle of my collection because it's a Power 9 card. Oh yeah, for sure, Lake, for sure. But I just loved playing with it. So it's just in this deck. And there we go. Our Black Lotus. It might be these days, who knows? But when I would use my green deck, I would switch this over to the green deck, and I could just be like, Black Lotus, double Berserk, Groundbreaker, game over. You know, there's silly stuff like that I could do in that deck. Alright. Black Lotus is there. We got a Shallow Grave. A Buried Alive. Oops, sorry about that. A Shallow Grave and a Buried Alive. We got a Demonic Tutor. One of the best search spells there is. And Buried Alive, by the way, search your library for up to 3 creature cards and put them in your graveyard. Yes, this is real, Iggy. These are all my cards. Dark Ritual, Exhume, Shallow Grave. There's that 13/13. We got a Chrome Mox in here as well. And Gristlebrand. Flying Lifelink, pay 7 life, draw 7 cards. Yeah, it's real. But yeah, it's unreal expensive at this point. But that is the peak of my collection right there. It is unlimited. There's only one white border version, and that would be the unlimited version. That, and that, this, and these are probably the pinnacle of my collection here in total. Lotus, Crypt, and 4 Berserks. There we go. Those are probably the best cards in my collection overall at the moment, but it's just nice. It's just nice. I really enjoy Magic, obviously. I have a lot of cards. I still didn't even show you like half of the boxes that I have just full of cards, but it's mostly just gonna be commons and stuff. But I love Magic. I have for a long time, clearly, and yeah, for sure, Lake, for sure. It was never about the sell for it, but it was always about the it was always about just me enjoying the game and me having one of the best cards in the game and being able to use it. I always thought that was just the coolest thing. And yeah, these are 0 casting cost cards that add mana to your mana pool. Tend to be really good most of the time. And the Black Lotus just happens to be the top of the food chain here. Can't beat 3 mana of any color for nothing. Alright. Thank you for enjoying, for basically watching me show off my Magic cards. I appreciate that. Good a condition might be true. Yeah, no problem, Jarf. I'm glad you enjoyed it. It was really fun going through it again. Yeah, I've got some pretty damn good cards throughout the years. The biggest regret I have is trading my Gaia's Cradle. That should be here, but I traded it. Thank you, dude. Appreciate it. Thank you. Alright, let's go ahead and put these cards back now for them to chill for another long time. But as you can see, I had like, I don't know, about 10 decks or something like that in total. And I just really enjoy playing Magic, is what it really comes down to, and that's, and as you can see, it all fits so nicely into our little He-Man lunchbox here. Nice and organized, and everything. If my Magic time wasn't long and far back in the past. Sure. And thank you. Appreciate it. And don't forget, Alliances! It's coming in June! Alliances! Coming in June! I had a blast showing that off. Seriously, thank you all. That's so cool, going through my old Magic cards like that. My biggest regret is trading my Gaia's Cradle. Because that card's worth probably more than any other card that I own except the Black Lotus at this point. But more so, it was like the best green ramp, like, land. It's just so good. Shall we get into a little bit of Chandelier here? And get our black deck going again. Oof. That was fun. That was fun. Mana Crypt was from... I want to... I don't think it was from a set, was it? When the Magic book came out in the 90s, what was it called? I want to say you could order it and you'd get one of like 6 cards or something like that. That would come with it, and I think it was part of that. Yeah, it was thank you, Xenic. I knew I was remembering. It was that, Arena, and something else, right? Yeah, Sewers of Estark. That's the only one I don't have. Goes just shy of $1,000, yeah. I miss my Cradle. That's my biggest regret. However, I literally traded for my Black Lotus, so I can't be that regretful. Oop, got to put my cool green counter back into it. Wow. Oh man, it's been a long time since I had that on display. Whew. One of these days, maybe I'll get a better webcam and you can see it a little bit easier or whatnot. I'm just going to break this video off here now. YouTubers, I hope you enjoyed the collection as well. I hope I did a good enough job showing it off. I have much love for this game going back into the 90s, and as many of you do out there. And I never really played it to get all the coolest cards or have the most perfect deck. I just played it because I loved it. And green was clearly my color. And I still play it, and we're going to play it now in just a few minutes here once I switch over to Chandelar. But thank you so much for watching, YouTubers. Appreciate that. Please like and subscribe. I'd also appreciate that. Let me know what kind of cards you have in your Magic collection below. I'd love to hear about it. Positive vibes, and have a good night.